Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Initiative Order's Vampire the Masquerade one-shot, Salem by Moonlight. Before I introduce myself and this incredible coterie of kindred, we have some shout-outs we'd like to give to our wonderful sponsors and let you know what they have set up for you all. Starting with Session Zero Clothing, wonderful D&D inspired streetwear. At checkout, use order as a code to get 15% off. We also have Norse Foundry, who make wonderful dice. I have a few sets with me right here. They are wonderful artisan dice makers. Use TIO 15 at checkout for 15% off. Roaming Player Gear, amazing tabletop gaming supplies. Use Carnaby 20 for 20% off the Dice Tower Dice Tray combo set. Next up is Mithril Armory, makers of the amazing Tin 20s and Sketch Dice. Use code INITIATIVE for 10% off their web store. And finally, the fantastic Umbral Oculus dice, handmade custom dice made by the Initiative Order's very own Taryn. Use code INITIATIVE for 10% off a full set of dice in her store. Again, thank you to our wonderful sponsors. You're awesome, amazing, you're doing wonderful things. Next up, let's meet our wonderful players, or rather, our wonderful vampires, starting with Ray. And please tell us, obviously, your name. You also should tell us your character's name and what clan they are.
Okay, hi, hey, I'm Ray, or with Brick. Tonight I'm going to be playing Esther Flynn. She is a Malkavian. I'm really excited.
And if you also want to tell us your socials too at the top, I am all for that.
Sure, awesome. Twitch.tv/withthebrick, twitter.com/withthebrick. Find me there. I do other cool things, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet because I want to play. And I'm really excited today because it's my first time playing.
Yeah. Next up, Carly.
Hello, I am Carly. I am at Carlybug on everything, CRLYBUG. I had to take the A out. I use any pronouns, and I am playing Eden Massey, who uses she, they pronouns, and they are a Bruja, and I'm very excited about that.
Fantastic. And next up, Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel Beauregard. I am playing Roisin Lynch from the Toreador clan. Her pronouns are she, her. You can find me on Instagram at Manic Pixie Tank Girl, and you can also find me here tomorrow night in the Kaiju Clash Mythical Melee, where I'll be playing as Godzilla. So all the information is out on socials, and you can tune in and watch us kick the shit out of each other.
I am definitely tuning in for that. And finally, Cynthia.
How am I supposed to follow up a kaiju meltdown there? That sounds awesome. Hi, y'all. I'm Cynthia Marie. I am no stranger to the Initiative Order or to Vampire. I am really excited to be playing with everybody because I love living vicariously through people who've never played it. I am playing actually a clan that I've never played. So, hey, some new stuff here. I'm playing Hikata. Her name is Francesca Giovanni. Of those Giovannis, yes, if you know Vampire, those Giovannis. Yeah, I'm real excited to play, y'all.
Thank you, Cynthia. And as for myself, hello, my name is Nate Bushman. I'm the storyteller for this game. You can find me on Twitter at Nate_B, also on Instagram at IndieNate, INDIE Nate. And as we'll learn through this story, and as my players will learn, I'm very much a little bit of a wicked Bostonian, just in terms of the region and what we'll be getting into with this story. Before we get into our session proper, I want to thank the Initiative Order for giving me this chance to run a one-shot on their channel. Your community is incredible. You've all been exceptionally welcoming and immensely helpful in getting this up and running. Thank you so much. I can continue to say thank you over and over and over again. I also want to thank my players for deep diving into the system for those who it's their first time, because I know it's a lot to do when it's a new game and it can be a little daunting, but you've taken that challenge and you're making it happen. And also thank you for taking time out of your schedules to play. It means a lot. And also a special shout out and a personal one I want to give to the wonderful World of Darkness team. You guys have made an incredible game. It's literally the game that got me into tabletop role playing. I just want to say thank you. It's what an amazing world, what a crazy amount of lore. It's great fun. And to those watching, consider this kind of just a taste of what Vampire the Masquerade can be. There are some things that just don't work when it comes to a one-shot that something like an in-depth chronicle can do, but I hope what you experienced today piques your interest, maybe gets you to try the game out at some point. And finally, a small content warning. Vampire the Masquerade is a mature game. It can deal with difficult themes that the players portray and play through. I've made sure to go over lines and veils with my players in the lead up to today's stream. If anything becomes a bit too much, there's nothing wrong with taking a break and coming back later. And remember, our players are portraying characters. The actions they take in-game don't reflect who they are in real life. Without further ado, this is the world of darkness. It's a world much like our own, but a bit darker, populated with some truly strange and unusual wonders. A Dionysian night filled with vitriolic twilight. A world of personal and political horror, one consumed by the kindred of the night. And oh, what music they make. What sort of trouble will these kindred get into tonight? What sort of horror lies in wait for them? Let's find out. Let's tell a vampire story. Very long intro for no reason. Boston, Massachusetts, one of the oldest cities in the country, the self-proclaimed hub of the universe. Boston is a city of history, both contained within and outside of its borders. It's an amalgamation of old and new, from the cobblestone streets of the North End to the modern design of the financial district. An excellent setting for the Camarilla, one that Prince Iverson rules with an iron fist in these modern nights. That said, our story tonight doesn't take place in Boston. Our story is outside the confines of the Camarilla's rule, away from the safety of all of your havens. Our story takes place 30 miles north in the historic town of Salem, Massachusetts. Salem is the epitome of old history. You cannot escape the past that is the witch trials here. It's everywhere, from the Salem Witch Museum to the Witch History Museum, to the myriad of tours conveying the town's history, to the plethora of witch shops scattered all over. Salem is a celebration of the strange and unusual, even though the history of the town is a dark one. When all of you woke up in your havens this evening, 3 of you noticed on your phone a text message. It wasted no time getting straight to the point. A mutual friend is missing, one you haven't seen in nights. Help me find them. I'll make it worth your time. Salem, the bewitched statue. Look for the lady in red. Note that I said 3 of you received that text. One of you received a very different kind of text that I will get to eventually. It's 8 p.m. The cold October night encapsulates Salem. Essex Street, the central hub of downtown, is jam-packed with people. Wonderful, delicious people, as far as the eye can see. Thousands of them are still milling about, taking in the variety of market stalls occupying the old cobblestone street. Some are in costume. Some are not. For once, it's a perfect backdrop for a vampire to blend in and enjoy the October festivities, if they so choose. Our view moves towards an iconic downtown statue. It's of Elizabeth Montgomery riding a broomstick, portraying her character, Samantha, from the classic TV series Bewitched. We watch as 2 figures approach the statue. Roisin and Eden, tell us what your characters look like and what's on their mind. And let's start with Roisin first.
Roisin is tall, looks like this. Probably actually a bit more couture looking in game. Like she sticks out as like, did this person go to like fashion school, or like what are they trying to prove? Like just a bit more aesthetic than most of the regular people just walking around. Very friendly, approachable nonetheless, and probably thinking that she really hates it when work calls for her to be outside her district and her comfort zone. She'd rather be there.
Eden is probably about 5'6". They have longer red hair than this, kind of loose curls. And they're very, you can tell looking at Eden, they're very much soft girl kind of vibes, which is ironic for Bruja, I'm aware. You can see kind of some paint, maybe kind of stuck under their fingernails, ink staining their hands, and they're very unsure about being out away from Boston and away from Emerson, just very little on edge.
And I would say when you both arrived at the statue, you didn't arrive separately. Both of you arrived together, as both of you know each other inside Boston. Whether that's a good relationship or not, we'll find out. Our view moves away from where you two are standing, as you're both probably looking at your phones at this message that popped up hours ago that brought you to the town of Salem. Our view now goes down the street. We zoom in on a particular person who definitely fits the description of strange and unusual. Francesca, tell us how you look and what are you currently doing as you make your way towards this statue?
Francesca is about 5'7". She's quite a bit tall. I would recognize her kind of looking like an Italian actress, but she has this odd, eerie presence about her with the sunken in eyes and her long hair pulled up into nice high updo. She's dressed very to the T, something that perhaps maybe a mob princess would almost look like, just very, very clean cut, but very elegant at the same time. And she kind of knows her way around the streets a bit. But what's kind of frightening is often to the ethers kind of situation, you kind of hear a faint screaming or crying that had just occurred. And you just see Francesca kind of just do this ever so slightly and kind of make her way towards a statue. She kind of just looks over her shoulder quite a bit often, and you're not quite sure what she's seeing, but she's obviously looking at something.
And as you said, like, you scream off in the distance. You hear it clear as day, but also with the amount of people that are walking past you here and there, it's this weird thing where it kind of blends in and people aren't sure if someone's actually been harmed or it's some part of a performance going on. It's difficult to tell. What you do see is when you make your way down the street, which is full on cobblestone street, it is old brick laid street. Maybe not the best thing to step on, might be uncomfortable for the feet, who knows? But when you look at the statue, you see two people just standing there looking at their phones, and you can't help but wonder, like, huh? And you look at your phone as well, and it's just maybe in your head you start piecing things together.
Hello, good evening.
Oh, my goodness. Hi.
Roisin, it's been a very long time since I've seen you.
I know, I try very much to stay, really immersed in my work, running a business and everything. But when the call comes, you have to show up,
Absolutely. It's very surprising to see you outside of your club, but I understand running a business is quite the endeavor and you have to always be quite close to it. Who is this?
Hey, I'm Eden. It's nice to meet you.
Hello. Did you know? No, you don't know. Right.
Do I not know?
You realize that something follows you, no?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Love all this, by the way. It's a great look.
Thank you. My brother got it for me. He said that I would look better in all black.
So much easier to keep clean,
Mm-hmm. Frank has good taste.
Sorry, what was your name? I didn't...
You don't know who I am?
She's new.
Oh, I see. No wonder you have this blush of health or human-like qualities to yourself. Hi, I am Francesca Giovanni.
It's... nice to meet you. I think... Roisin, have you mentioned the Giovanni before? That name sounds familiar.
I've probably spoken very highly of them.
Right.
Eden, if there's ever anything that you need, and I mean anything, you go ahead and let me know.
Will do. Yeah.
Finally, our view shifts from where these three are having their conversation to down the street a bit. We follow a solitary figure who is by themselves. This figure looks lost. Maybe it's their first time in Salem. They look at their phone. The text they received this evening was strange, to say the least. My sources say a vision plagues your mind, an itch you cannot scratch. I might have a way to help you, but only if you're willing to step through the looking glass. Don't be late for a very important date. Salem, bewitched statue. Tick-tock, tick-tock. And Esther, what do you look like? And what's going through your mind that you have, especially with this extremely bizarre text?
Yeah. Esther is about 5'7", 5'8". Dark, scraggly, like just naturally dried hair, like just kind of tossed to the side, doesn't really care. Hoodie, covering up most of themselves, physically trying to shrink inside of their clothing and their skin. Hands in her pockets, and she's just constantly, like every couple steps, like just like looking and very uncomfortable. Does not enjoy people, so being in this sort of environment is just not, it's making her feel very out of place. And especially with the text message, not understanding what it's for or why she's come to Salem. She's kind of freaking out, but she's trying to keep her composure as best as vampirically possible, and making like a steadfast beeline for that statue, not trying to like stop or get distracted.
As you mentioned, trying to keep your composure, there are people everywhere. Where you're walking through at this time of year, it's best to assume the amount of people is in the thousands. It's just October in Salem. It gathers people from all over the world. And no matter how much you probably are trying to keep that composure in and not think about it, it's probably that thing that's still creeping into your head. You're just like, don't think about it. Don't think about it. And
yeah, and trying to keep her head down because she does have 3 very large scars that go across her left eye, and her left eye is actually blind, so it's all milky. And occasionally, like, you'll see her like travel more towards the right, and then she'll check herself and then kind of straighten herself back on the path, but very much like not trying to bump into anybody, touch anybody, get distracted, just beelining it.
And when you beeline it, you see this iconic statue. As I described, it is literally of Elizabeth Montgomery on a broomstick from the show Bewitched. And you see 3 people having a conversation, and all 3 of them have their phones out as well, but they also are talking amongst one another as you approach.
She's just like phone out, kind of like looking between you all in the phone. Did you all get called here too? Did you get the text?
No, just definitely wanted to admire such a beautiful statue.
I'm playing Pokemon Go.
Got the
See her,
text.
she very awkwardly for a moment kind of like, you got the text. Are they just your friends?
I think they also got the text.
Hi, I'm Esther. Don't really know why I'm here, but I'm here.
Eden.
Don't know why you're here. Fascinating.
I mean, I have a vague understanding of what the text means, but I don't understand why I'm here,
It's a fairly straightforward text to meet at the statue. I'm Francesca Giovanni, by the way.
Hi, Esther. Again. No. Was yours just like, hey, meet at a statue? Because that's not what I got.
Pretty close to it.
She keeps like looking between her phone, like like rereading the text and like looking at you all, and like she's clearly very confused.
Yours is different, I assume.
Yeah. And she just like she's just gonna hold it out. And once again, it says, what does it say?
I gotcha. It says, my sources say a vision plagues your mind, an itch you cannot scratch. I might have a way to help you, but only if you are willing to step through the looking glass. Don't be late for a very important date. Salem, Bewitched statue. TikTok. TikTok.
Oh my, what a poetic writer.
I feel slighted now. I got
don't like
just a
poetry.
little like booty call of a text, and you got a nice little poem.
I don't like poems, so I'm anyways, so that other the sender, are they here? Did you see him?
When you all look at your phones, you also don't have a name attached to the number. It's like a random dial number. Just
Great. I'd like to sense the unseen.
Go right ahead. I don't think. Yep, that's free of charge.
Yep.
And I believe, yeah. Usually, it's actually, yeah, roll wits plus aspects just to see. I'm curious.
No problem.
Always make it more interesting with the roll.
Hey, yeah, no worries. By the way, did we have any sort of feeding, or are we all starting at 1 blood?
Your hunger is all at 1.
Great.
So make sure when you roll to add 1 blood dice to that, or hunger dice.
Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
So sense the unseen, it turns on. And Francesca being who they are, you're very attuned to the sort of things that most people will never see. Very much also as part of Clan Akata. It's just part of the motif. When you look at Esther, kind of get this weird thing about them where something clearly is holding on to them in a way that's not visually apparent as to what it is, but something is clearly like an itch they cannot scratch. It is something at the back of their head, the back of their mind, and it's just clinging to them. Maybe it's been there for hours, maybe days, maybe even weeks. But you get this visual image of them, and you're just, something about it is just not naturally right.
If I look away from Esther, do I see anybody that might be trying to conceal themselves? Perhaps a person that sent the message?
When you turn around and look around, you don't see anyone that's trying to conceal themselves. You have this interesting moment where you think looking down the street, you get a sort of aura that might be something not vampiric, maybe something more ghost-like, but at the same time, it kind of flickers in and out quickly, like almost as if it's like a deer in the headlights moment of, I've been seen, I am now gone. But no, you don't see anyone who seems to be obfuscating themselves out of sight.
I see. Esther, you have a very twisted web-like mind that seems to be attached to you somehow. That's
she just points to the text.
Yes, text.
Yeah. That's probably why I'm here. I would like for it to go away.
No, you quite literally have something attached to you. It's just hanging there.
She just starts like touching her head. Like,
no, it's a little bit more that. What? No.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well.
So you do know. You do see it.
Yeah. And I would like to scry the soul, if possible. Francesca.
Sure. Give me a rouse check. So roll a d10.
Okay.
Let me know if it's a 6 or a 10, or if you get the Ankh symbol using the dice if you have it.
I got a 4.
Your hunger goes up by 1, so you should be at 2 hunger now.
Okay.
And in doing so, you do kind of, in Vampire, you all deal with the struggle that is the inner beast within. You do hear that sort of like, that kind of cackle in the back of your mind that you really don't want to hear, where it's like, you know, maybe you could use a little nip. There's like someone walking around, you could just grab someone by the arm, sink your teeth in. Don't worry about it being in public. It's fine. Just get a drink in.
Okay, so she kind of like puts her hands deeper into her pockets, like pulling the hoodie down, and you can see like there's like a moment. Never mind. And she like turns her body physically to like towards Eden, and how do you say your vampire's name?
Roisin.
So you two, but do you all know each other, and then I'm just the oddball, or like what?
Also for Scry the Soul, give me an intelligence plus aspects roll.
Yes.
So you'll be rolling, yeah.
Intelligence plus aspect.
And then just let me know how many successes you get on that. Because you were looking at Francesca when you said that, so I want to make sure we handle that as well.
Okay, intelligence, and then I just have to...
Or add the amount, add 3 for the aspects you have, yeah.
Okay, so... That's only 2 successes.
That's fine. When you look at Francesca, is there anything in particular you want to know?
Just kind of, I just want to know the aura color. Like what kind of, I'm reading her because she read me sort of thing. So just kind of like the generalities of what I see.
So Francesca, what kind of emotional state would you say that you're in currently?
Just very still-minded, very she has no emotion. She definitely does not show her emotions.
And with that, just out of curiosity, is there anything in particular that Esther might see that might be supernatural around you?
Around me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 100%. She is surrounded by her, how do I say this? Her family that never turned kindred. So she has ghosts literally like all over around her all the time.
So Esther, you see a very calm, when you're looking at Francesca, very calm, very much at peace, no real like anything like off kilter, except for the fact that you can't really make out their shapes, but there's things just circling around them.
Okay. So when I turn my body and kind of address the other 2, with that kind of recollection, I'll like give a double take and I'll look at you, Francesca, and I'll make eye contact, but then I'll immediately like get distracted and start looking in circles around your head.
You just see Francesca turn over her shoulder. Can you guys not do that right now? Please, like, can we? Okay.
That's funny. That's good. And she'll like turn her attention back to the other 2.
As you do that, can all of you give me wits plus awareness? Which if you need a good difficulty, it's not that much, just difficulty of 1. And for those watching at home, Vampire is a D10 system. So when they roll their dice, if it's a 1 through 5, that is basically called a failure. If they get a 6 through 10, that's a success. It's all based around how many successes you can get. You got a excellent, so exactly a 1 for Francesca. Also a 1 for Eden. 1 is enough. It's good.
I rolled a 1 on one of my dice, if that matters.
I also got a 1 success.
Was it on your hunger dice?
It was.
Okay, you're fine. Just curious. You got like wait a minute, like an actual 1 like on the dice as a D10?
Yeah.
And no successes at all?
No, I got 1 success.
Okay, you're good. That's fine.
Okay.
Roisin.
I got 3 successes and 10 on my hunger dice.
Nice. Esther, how many?
Remember, I roll really well in these games. I have no idea why.
1 success.
You all got it. I would say, Roisin, you're the first one to really notice. And then the other 3 notice what you're staring at, and all 4 of you have your heads looking the exact same direction. You look out into the sea of people across the street occupying downtown. Where you guys are in terms of the statue, there is a intersection almost of sorts where it's cobblestone street meets an actual driving road. But you look across the street and you just see a sea of people occupying downtown. It is flooded with people. The fact that it's almost 8 or 9 at night and there's still this many people, both in costume, not in costume, just flocking Salem. It's October. It's the normal thing that usually happens, but also it's kind of like, there's not really a lot to do at this point. Why are all these people here? But at the same time, it's all that delicious blood is right in front of you, and it's all yours whenever you want to take it. As your eyes dart through these crowds of people, your gaze stops at a building across the street. It has a neon sign above it that says Rockefellers. You watch as a group of people exit. They're loud, they're boisterous. They're having a good laugh, to be completely honest. One voice, though, out of all of them stands out amongst that group, a woman's. You're welcome into my fair city whenever you please. Please enjoy the festivities and don't drink too much. A little red wine goes a long way. She watches the group leave, standing there for a second, taking in the cool night air, watching the cold breath leaving her mouth with bated interest. Someone exits holding a stylish, quite expensive looking black jacket and then drapes it right over their shoulders. And then immediately they go back inside, but this person stays outside, still watching their breath with bated interest. As she stands there, the four of you get a very good look at their appearance. Curvy, ginger hair done up in a small beehive hairdo of sorts. Think like Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's. Outside of the black jacket draped over her shoulders, she's wearing black stilettos, black stockings, and an exquisite red dress that screams designer label. Maybe McQueen? Maybe Vivienne Westwood? Who knows? You watch as she takes another second, gazing at her cold breath, before her gaze goes to where the four of you are, at the statue. And that's when she's looking directly at you. And you see, even from that distance, almost a sort of Cheshire grin grow as they saunter across the street towards you.
I want to lean over to Roisin real quick and say, I think I found where in the world Carmen Sandiego is.
Don't say that to her face. She'll kill you.
Yep, that makes sense.
And as she approaches, she stops right in front of the four of you, gives you all a very slow look at, like, up and down. Well, 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 what do we have here? A rose, a rebel, a necromancer, aw, and a child of Malkav. What a fascinating bunch. Thank you for making the trek out to Salem. I know it's a bit of a journey outside the comforts of Boston and your havens, but sometimes we need to step outside our comfort zones.
Who are you?
We'll get to that. I personally am not a fan of discussing business in the open. You never know who's hearing, so let's go inside. And she doesn't even take a second to get a response. She immediately 180s and starts once again sauntering across the street back inside towards that building that they just exited from. And they give you kind of like a look from behind their shoulders of just like, come on.
You just hear Francesca's like stiletto heels go like click clop real quick and kind of like catch up.
I'm assuming I recognize her, right?
You, out of all of them, you recognize her. You have interacted with her before.
Great. I just I want to lean over to Eden and just be like, be very careful what you say. Your age is a disadvantage to you at this point. So it's very Gandalf to Pippin, just like, maybe you just shouldn't talk.
Just shut up. Like
don't try not to talk unless she asks you something directly, okay? And we'll just start going.
I'll do my best. I make no promises. Can you invite me in? I don't know if that counts or not.
I'm pretty sure this is a vampire establishment, isn't it?
Oh, so it's
or a business. It only counts on human homes. If it's businesses,
right, sorry,
it doesn't count.
Still learning all that.
Capitalism loves everyone's
head out. Yeah, she actually pops her head out as she hears this. It's like, oh, you can come in, don't worry. And just immediately.
Right.
I'm going to hold the door open for everybody. I'd like to be the last one in because I'm going to look around to make sure that nobody watched us go in here.
Sure. You can roll wits plus awareness on that just to see.
And I'm specifically using my sense the unseen, by the way.
Sure. So add that. Actually, yeah, I would say if you want, add those dice to that roll as well. make it a very large pool.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5, that is quite a lot of successes. You look up and down the street. Again, there are people everywhere, but you don't seem to notice anyone specifically looking at your direction. It seems that all of these people have their own priorities, their own businesses that they're taking care of. No one has any interest in the group that has just entered this building.
And no spirits, no wraiths either?
Nope. There is, unusually, for some weird reason, you're not seeing any right now in the space that you're in. Despite the fact that Salem comes across as a place where that would be a complete open-ended area of just nothing but wraiths and spirits. But at the moment, there are none near you. You even have the ones that Esther saw circling around you. They are very quiet right now. Unusually quiet.
This is not the time to be quiet now, but okay. Great. Mm-hmm.
As the four of you enter this establishment, the best way to describe it is Art Deco to the T. It is almost like a speakeasy bar that had been ripped out from the 1920s and thrust into the modern day. The bar is this gorgeous wooden area that all the people who are the wait staff and whatnot are dressed in 1920s garb. You're not sure if this is just something being put on for October or if this is just how businesses run here. You watch as this woman, again, slowly walking ahead of you, just guides you through this crowd of people into the back area, where you then notice there is a stairwell going upstairs, to which they just start climbing those steps and go to the top, where they open a door and just leave it open for you standing at the top, patiently waiting. Up here.
I'm going up without even a second thought.
Esther kind of gives like the person holding the door like an awkward like thank you bow, and then like heads in.
Just going.
When you walk by Roisin, she does a very subtle nod to you of recognition.
My nod has like a hint more of bow to it.
Yeah.
I hate this
And
bitch.
I take a note of all of that, as I'm
do you
probably the
say
last
that
one.
Roisin, do you say that out loud?
No, I want to live.
Just checking, you never know. As Francesca, you were, I would assume, the last one to enter. She gives you a very thorough up and down look.
To your expectations, I hope.
Oh, I've dealt with your family before.
Oh, good. So you understand what I'm all about then.
Independence is a beautiful thing.
It truly, truly is. Keep walking in.
Come. Much like downstairs, the upstairs is almost a carbon copy. It is, weirdly enough, for some reason in this old Salem town, there is Art Deco everywhere. And it's not like an office, it is a full-on living space. So you walk into a room that has gorgeous emerald green walls with a chaise lounge on it, with a gorgeous 1920s style table in the middle. There's a very fancy desk in the back with a computer, a bunch of paperwork. There were clearly wine bottles here and there, or maybe they're wine bottles. Who knows? And she just looks at the four of you and says, yeah, just take a seat wherever you like. I'm just gonna pour myself a drink. And she goes over to where her desk is, grabs a bottle, takes a whiff, and just starts pouring it into a glass, and it's as crimson as can be.
Is this the place I was last time? Or just like a same aesthetic?
I will say you were in Salem before, but not in this particular spot.
So I'll sit on the shade lounge and just like pose like my Vogue cover and just be like, I'll give you one thing. You are consistent with your aesthetic.
Oh, thank you. I love it so much.
Apparently.
Oh, apparently. I bet you're all wondering why you're here. I summoned you here because it appears a mutual friend is missing. Someone that we all seem to have a personal connection with. Lydia Cook. I fear something terrible has happened, and I would like your help in finding them. Which in turn makes me want to ask, when's the last time you saw her?
Probably when she was, dumping me with Roisin.
I've actually heard about that, even all the way out here.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
When you say that, she gives a very loud laugh and doesn't respond.
All right.
Again, she looks at you, Francesca, very intently after she says Lydia's name, as if she knows something way more than she probably needs to.
Interesting. You're asking us for information about the last time we saw her.
That's correct.
So I'm sure that, as you know, dealing with my family, we do use information as currency. So if you're asking me for information, what do I get out of this?
If all of you help me find her, I will owe you a great boon. And when I say that, I mean anything you want, I will make it happen. Don't care how illegal it is, or even legal. I will make it happen.
Oh, now you're speaking my language. A major boon. And you can kind of see her take a mental note on that. So information about Lydia. Do you all know where Lydia is? Have you seen her?
Are we talking about the last time we saw her, or we saw her?
And that's when, for Esther's sake, this is the first time you've heard the name.
Okay.
When was the last time I saw her? I don't remember that part.
Sure. All of you, more or less, I would say either in the past week saw her, or maybe weeks. But you know who she is.
Mm-hmm.
She's had a significant part to play in your lives lately. Even for Esther here, who is just finding out a name for the first time.
Well, I mean, it does seem that Frank actually had seen her maybe about a week ago, but in terms of my dealing, not so much.
I know, Roisin, you've seen her before.
She is a regular patron of my establishment. She comes and goes pretty regularly, so I couldn't, I'd have to do some serious digging and asking around to get a confirmed date. But yeah, she's been in and out of the club several times in the last few weeks, so.
And I know your story, little rebel, with her. Trust me, don't worry, we all break the masquerade at some point. And then she just looks at you, Esther, extremely intently and doesn't say
Esther
anything.
tries not to make eye contact. Actively tries to not make eye contact.
I'm going to say for a split second you do. And what happens is that vision, that itch in the back of your mind kicks in. And for a second, you're in the room looking at everyone. And you do something that normally you don't do anymore because you're not alive. You blink. And the minute you blink, you're not in the room anymore. You're in a space that is completely foggy, like a giant amount of shroud has filled it and is emanating from somewhere. And when you're in this room, you somehow walk forward and you just come across a mirror. And you don't see what's on the opposite side. You don't actually see the reflection. You see the back of this mirror. And it's not till you turn your head again and you look on the side of it, you see a woman, black hair, extremely pale, wearing a band shirt, leather pants, combat boots. And they just look utterly distraught. as they put their hand forward, and their hand just slides down the mirror as they look utterly terrified of what they're looking at. And once again, you see this disturbing image of some person. They are completely obscured. They are nothing but just a shapeless mass of shadow come up from behind them and just whisper in their ears, "Welcome to the clan, my new shadow dancer." And a single crimson tear drops from their face, to which you turn around, look at the mirror, and there is no reflection. What is there is not there. What is maybe there is kind of like a shapeless mass that keeps going in and out of focus. And then when you look at this person again, dark, black smoke comes out of their mouth and starts enveloping them to the point where you get spun up in it as well. And then you blink and you're back in the room with everyone else.
And as she blinks and comes back to, she's like swiping what appears to be nothing to you all, like around her, like there was something she's trying to get out of, and she kind of just like, I'm all right.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, you are. And did you go somewhere?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
This woman in a red dress gets very close to you while you're talking to Francesca. Child, I know it plagues your mind. You see the exact person we're all looking for, don't you?
I would assume that's her. Yeah, I would assume. Hmm?
I've heard about you. I had someone actually come to me talking about someone who was going on and on about a vision that sounded exactly like Lydia. Which I am very, very intrigued to learn how that happened.
Same. I would like to know that too. I don't get it.
I have a feeling she's somewhere, maybe in Salem. And again, I will do whatever you want if you find them for me and bring them back safely and hopefully, well, alive.
What does she mean to you?
When you ask that, she kind of takes a step back. Doesn't really seem like she knows how to formulate her words. And just kind of does like this. Lydia obviously is a deputy for the Camarilla. Lydia, as our dear Roisin has met and had to experience, also works for me.
That's not what I asked. What does she mean to you?
Give me a charisma plus persuasion roll.
Happily.
As she just kind of feels like she's not wanting to say anything, but I'm also
charisma versus what? Charisma and what?
Persuasion.
Boop, 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 boop. Where the hell? Aha!
I'm also confused with my feelings of jealousy right now. Like, I don't want to know what she means to her.
4. She looks like she's trying to be sheepish, but the way you ask that, she opens up a bit more than she probably ever wanted to. Like, she's also my thrall. She's bonded to me. I saved her life. She asked for that in return as a way of saying thank you. And I can feel that she is still alive, and I just want to know where she is. Because I saw her 2 nights ago, and she seemed like she was spooked out of her mind.
I see. So she means an awful lot to you.
I mean, as the only La Sombra that I know of in the state, yes.
Question.
Yes.
What is a shadow dancer?
Oh, that's their nickname.
Huh.
Have you not met Alessandra? They're quite fascinating.
No, that might make some sense. The thing where I went, I heard a thing, a giant mass, a dark thing.
Oh, the shadows?
Yeah, I saw them like embrace her and touch her and stuff.
They look like tentacles.
Sorta. But she's stuck in a mirror.
Oh, that's odd.
Oh, they don't cast reflections.
Okay, makes more sense. Learning.
Which is,
I like this.
It's a little difficult for her
Okay.
career considering things. You can't be photographed, no video.
And for
Interesting.
the record, Lasombra aren't the only ones who can see shadows.
Oh, I know. Again, she stares very intently at you.
All right, well, now that I feel slightly awkward, we should probably get going then. Try to find this person.
Yes, and the reason you're all here is because I heard about all four of you from her. She's vaguely heard of someone apparently talking about visions, but she has no idea who you are. She points directly at you, Esther. But she's heard someone apparently in the domain talking about something that sounded similar, but she also shrugged it off. I kept that in the back of my mind because that's too much of a coincidence.
I'm here now.
You're here now. My advice is I think she's here in the town. I just don't know where. If you go down the street, I have someone in my domain that might be able to help you. I believe they actually, as a safety measure, I believe they have the means of getting into her home to see if there's anything clue-wise. Go down the street, there is a bookstore, literally titled, of all things in this region, Wicked Good Books. You'll meet my contact, Samuel. He'll help you out. You can't miss him. He looks like the old professor type. Nice salt and pepper beard.
All right, well then, if anybody else doesn't have anything to say, we should probably go meet Samuel before he has to go take a nap.
Yes.
Real quick,
And I would also appreciate that. Yes.
Sorry. You said you saw her 2 nights ago. Where did you see her at?
She was right here in this room, and she sounded like excuse the expression, a bat out of hell. Like she was rambling on about stuff, and I've never seen her that paranoid about anything. But something clearly spooked her. And I've never seen her like that.
Gotcha.
It's at this moment, too, you realize while she's talking, she's been kind of moving around the space a little bit more. And of all things, she's kind of next to a mirror, kind of doing makeup a bit while talking to you. And then is trying to find like an accessory that they can't seem to find until they reach down and you notice she's grabbing a masquerade mask. And she just turns around and is like, "No, I hate to do this, but I'm late for a party. I know, sounds strange. Well, I want you all to look for someone, but also you got to keep up appearances when you're well known in this town." And then you hear there's a knock at the door and someone enters in a black suit with black hair. They're not holding or like wearing a masquerade mask. They're just holding it, and they just walk in, said, "Sorry to bother you, Dinah, but we need to get going. You gotta love Ventru that are punctual. Ladies, please find our little Lasombra. I want to know she's fine. Please."
Will do.
She once again looks at you, Francesca. Be mindful of the spirits here. I've heard a lot about you and what you can do. And as for you, young rebel, I don't care if you break the masquerade tonight. Just don't do something stupid. And just walks away. And then again, for Roisin, she just gives you the subtlest of nods. Just like, I understand.
Are we left in the office?
No, she's now holding the door open like, can you please, I want to close shop.
Oh,
It's that type of look.
Yeah.
I was just checking.
It's that high, it's big, I don't want to say the word, but it's wonderful big bitch like energy.
Yes. We love this.
Like lady boss, like, yep, let's go.
Yes.
Nope, again, you hear
girl boss.
You hear Francesca's stiletto.
And when you do get outside, she just points down the street like, the store's down that way. And she walks ahead of you down the exact same street, but much farther ahead, as she and whoever is joining her blends into the crowd.
To the bookstore.
Yeah, to the bookstore. Great. So, Edith, you broke the masquerade?
Okay, it's not my fault, but also the masquerade's kind of dumb. Yeah.
Okay.
Are we all going to a party? Is that what you're talking about?
No. There's a unwritten rule about us kindred having to keep up appearances so that we don't look like we should actually look. So Roisin is a great example as keeping up appearances. I so much don't give a damn.
All right. And she just like sticks her hands in her pockets and just starts to like meander down towards the bookstore.
As you
While we are walking though, is there like any semblance of anybody that's just like looking too long at us?
give me a, once again, wits plus awareness roll.
Okay.
The perception roll of vampire.
I got 2 successes.
As you all walk down the street, again, there are so many people walking around. You're noticing also there are a bunch of market stalls popped up. So there are people literally, even at this hour of the night, as it's getting later and later, are selling wares on the street, whether it's nice jewelry, clothing. You see someone doing paintings on the street, also nice drinks and snacks here and there. When you're looking around, Esther, you kind of try to focus in a little more and see if anyone's following you. From what you can tell, no one is following you. No one has eyes on you as you walk down the street to your destination.
She's still gonna make like panic looked back every like 30 to 40 seconds. just meandering.
Yeah. As you walk down the street too, it's not even that far of a walk. You see the sign and it says, as she described, it says as clear as day, Wicked Good Books.
Wicked
Good
books.
Yeah, in the most Bostonian way of saying it.
I again am gonna raise Sense the Unseen. I'm gonna check out, is there any sort of wraithy, ghostly entities that are hanging out around the store?
Going off of the roll you already did on that, because I'm okay with doing that.
Thank you.
You don't see any wraithy ghost spirits at all. What you do see though is like very faint signs that there have been wards placed around the building. Maybe they're keeping them out, but it's clear as day to you that something has been done in this building in terms of a ward.
So I'm going to indicate to the rest of the group. So seeing as how some of you might be new to this world, do you guys understand what a magic warlock kindred is? Yes. Are we familiar? No, I'm seeing deer in the headlight.
They use charisma.
They use blood magic.
Gotcha.
and some of them can be charismatic. Point being is that there are certain traps, either to keep something in or to keep something out, that is around the front of the store. So let's go ahead and be careful of not triggering such things. And I look straight at Eden, the masquerade breaker, of like, do not mess this up. Capiche?
Sure.
Great. And I kind of usher them in, open the door.
I'll hold the door open for everybody this time.
When you open the door, books are stacked upon each other to the point where you're seeing nothing but the tallest of books just stacked upon stacked upon stacked upon stacked. It looks like a used bookstore of sorts. It's just more of the way the books are all laid out. It's organized chaos is probably the best way to describe it. It's the type of thing where if you wanted to grab a book from the top, like at the middle of the stack, someone's probably going to have to get something to help lift the books up so you can just grab it out. Eventually, though, when you get around like the first sort of books like that, you do see a sort of counter space where someone is standing. You see an older gentleman. He has a salt and pepper beard and hair that's been neatly trimmed, hidden under a sort of newsboy cap. They have a bit of like an emerald button shirt popping out underneath a neatly fitted gray vest with a rather catching brown blazer on top. And he doesn't have a tie, but what he has is a scarf that's been wrapped around his neck that is fitted into his vest almost as if it was a tie. And he just sees the four of you enter. Good evening. How can I help you today?
Yes, do you have an anthology of historical deaths in Salem?
Which one of those books would you like? I have multiple.
Oh, can you just show me the section?
Sure, right this way. And he just immediately moves out behind the back. Below him, as you look at the fashion, just nice dark pair of jeans with nice, almost like 50s style suede shoes.
Is there other people in the store?
You faintly feel like you hear someone in the back room, but you're not sure.
Anybody that is of the human kind that if I were to bring up stuff wouldn't get us into trouble.
Better. Sorry about that.
That's
no,
fine.
You actually are the only ones in the store right now.
Great. So I'm going to elaborate on the historical deaths. Actually, we're looking for more of a shadowy type, a shadow dancer, if you will.
Shadow dancer, you say?
Well, yes.
Would this one in particular maybe be missing?
Perhaps that's why I was looking for an anthology on historical deaths.
Did Dinah send you?
I look over at Roisin.
Well, we clearly aren't a LARPing group. Like, yes, Dinah sent us. Jesus Christ. I'm almost gonna like
Salem.
reach back and switch the sign from open to close in the door.
No, that saves me the trip of having to just walk to the door to do that. Yeah, how can I... What in particular do you need? Like, guys, I personally don't know the situation in full. I just know our dear Lydia hasn't been seen in a while. Dinah likes to keep a lot of things close to the chest.
Evidently, she points us to you, and if you don't know what's going on...
Oh, she probably wants you to check her home. Okay.
That was mentioned.
Sure, I can take her there. I just need... As much as you just did that closing sign, I actually need that turned back. And he shouts out loud, Trella, please, can you come forward? And behind the counter, there's like a curtain. It parts. And you see a woman approach who is wearing the most striking blue blazer, gray vest, and has on a red fedora. But you also notice when you look at her hands, she has a cloth on, like wiping her hands, and it's just wiping away blood, like open as day. It's like, yeah, how may I, what do you need, Samuel? It's like, can you, my dear, can you just watch the front desk for a second? I'll be right back. And she doesn't say anything. She just walks up, plants a kiss right on his cheek, and just stands at the counter. Yeah, let's... Yeah.
Right quick, before we go, I am Francesca Giovanni. By any chance, if you were to know who we are.
Oh, I know exactly who the Giovanni are.
Oh,
It was
wonderful.
a pleasure to meet a necromancer.
Yes. I would love to propose just a small favor, and of course, my family and I would owe you some sort of debt that we could work out at a later date. But do you possibly have those handy little stones that really track people?
I haven't made one of those in a while, but let me see what I have in the back. And I'm going to make a roll on that because I want to know. He comes back and he just has one single stone. Like, I haven't had to make one of these in a while. The last time we did was a couple of years ago.
A single stone is fine.
He just holds it out and lets you take it if you want.
I grab it and I actually toss it over to Eden. Hold on to this. We're going to probably need it later.
All right. I'll stick it in my pants pocket.
And then, Roisin, you know pretty much everybody. I assume you have Samuel's number in your phone, correct?
I don't believe I have Samuel's, but I think I have Trilla's.
Let's do in... I'm curious on that, actually. Let's make that a roll. Do intelligence plus tech. I was going to say composure, but like, you know what? I want to make this more interesting.
Nice. Does this count as a social roll?
You know what? I'll allow it. And just make sure you have one of those dice as your hunger dice.
Yes, a lot.
Yep.
Okay.
And if you get 2 10s at all, let me know.
I have 1 10, 2 successes, and a success on my hunger.
Okay, so 3. You don't have her number in your phone, but you immediately remember her because of a Camarilla thing that you were tasked with doing the last time you were in Salem. You came across Trilla, who you did not talk to, but you immediately noticed they're wearing literally the same outfit you saw them in. This sort of blazer, like black, blue, like this sort of dark blue suit with just the most striking crimson hat that stands out like a sore thumb, especially against their extremely blonde hair.
I'll just slide my phone over to Samuel and just be like, "You want to pop your number in there real quick?"
Yeah, I will do that right now, and then let's head down the street. I can take you to where Lydia lives. And he's putting it in the phone, hands it back to you, opens the door up. It's like, just this way. Sadly, we gotta go through these people. I'm sorry. Just don't feed on anyone. And he says that in a sort of nervous, anxiety-filled laugh.
I was given permission to break the masquerade, but
Not like that.
okay.
Get
And-
staked.
You head down the street. Again, people are everywhere, but you get to this certain street where you see a very large building. You're not sure if it's like, maybe it's like a business building, maybe it's a hotel. He doesn't really point towards going that area. He kind of directs you to the left, which for Francesca's sake, because you've been in Salem before, you have done possibly tours in Salem before as a past hobby. You see a very familiar building, which is on the left side. He's leading you towards what is known as Salem Commons, and you see this almost church-like building that's emanating red light from within, and you know that's the Salem Witch Museum, which is always, no matter what time of day, is a line going out the door because people are they want to know the history of the area that badly.
Oh, did you guys know that I have family members that are in that museum? Yes, they're the Gianna sisters. They are very well known as cheating death.
Interesting.
Only so many
Oh,
times, it seems.
Samuel just looks at you, he's like, oh, I've heard about that, actually. I didn't know they were interesting. You know the most famous one there, though, right? Bridget Bishop.
Probably. Oh, yes, of course.
Yep, the first one burned and executed.
It's unfortunate she didn't know how to cheat her own death.
Yeah. They do say, though, that her spirit lingers, especially this month.
Excuse me?
And then he just walks forward.
I think that's probably the first time you see Francesca actually excited for a moment, like a fleeting moment.
And as you walk down, you go past a sort of almost like gazebo structure in the middle of this open commons area. He leads you to a side street. And I'm going to say that's a perfect spot for us to take a break. And we will be right back after a short break, guys. Stick around. And we're back. As what happened before we went to break, our group of vampires here were following another vampire towards the home of one Lydia Cook in Sombra, who apparently is missing, that someone by the name of Dinah wants back very, very badly for very personal reasons and is willing to offer a great boon in return. As I mentioned, you walk through Salem Commons, and you eventually get to a street that's like a side street. You notice the street side, it says Briggs Street. You go by, it's like old New England buildings. Samuel eventually stops at the front door of one that looks almost like kind of maybe an apartment place of sorts. He just looks at the lock on the door. He's like, just give me a second. Tries like ruffling through his pockets, trying to see if maybe there's a key. You know what? I have no patience. And he just, without thinking about it, opens his sleeve, exposes his wrist, and just full on bites into it and just lets the blood drip on the doorknob. And as you watch it, you can smell it corroding away. Like, time is of the essence on this. Let's not waste any time. And then the door just opens up and leads up a set of stairs that go directly all the way to the top. Ladies, after you.
Quite a bit of blood there.
I would say I want you all to give me a willpower roll, just for the sake of it. Because you're smelling all four of you, even though your hunger is not really that high, it smells, even though you see it literally corroding away at a door, more or less, it smells so divine. It's like sweet nectar.
What would you like us to roll? I'm sorry.
Willpower, just straight willpower.
Woof.
I got 3 successes.
You are totally fine. It smells great, but you're like, you know what?
God.
I see it's corroding. Let's just not mess with that.
I got 2 successes and one was a 10 on my hunger dice.
You are also good. You're just like, you know what? Yep, all of you. Oh, Roisin.
I got 2 successes, one of them on my hunger die.
You are all good. You look at that, it smells amazing, but you also see that it's literally smoking away at the doorknob. It's like, maybe I'm good. And Samuel has the door open for you. He's like, after you.
I am going to activate heightened senses at this moment.
Sure. Is there a particular sense you want heightened the most?
Probably sound. I want to see if I can hear anything that's going on, if there's anything upstairs, if somebody's upstairs.
Yeah, sure. Heightened senses, there's no cost, free of charge. Your hearing gets more and more, like, very much more amplified. You're able to hear things that the others most likely are not. It sounds dead quiet up there. You don't hear anything that sounds like someone's moving about, but it sounds dead quiet. And that's also when you're going up the stairs, you notice the door that it seems to be leading to is not wide open, but it's clearly ajar.
Is there a particular reason why we are here? Is there something we're looking for?
I mean, I have no idea if she's been in her apartment or not, but it's worth checking. I mean, this is where she lives. Even though she works in Boston, this is where she lives.
Esther, does any of this look familiar from when you...
Shit, like I'll kind of like look around, but from my recollection, she just kind of like, no. Like I said, she was stuck in a mirror.
Mirror, like,
I mean, maybe if the mirror is in her apartment, maybe she's on the other side of the mirror. Magic. Besides that, I don't really know, but it doesn't hurt to try.
Okay, so perhaps maybe we should all kind of split off here and do our own little investigation, if you will. I'll be right here in the center waiting. And honestly, as she does that, like she like plops down in the middle, and I'm gonna activate where the shroud thins.
Yeah. Are you all in the apartment, I assume?
Yes.
Am I?
It's up to you. I mean,
I'm assuming we were
assuming you
walking
did.
and talking, yeah.
Yeah, he said after you, so that's an invitation.
Okay. So when you did get in there, just to give a little prerequisite, the place is a mess. You're not really sure what's going on or what happened, but there's stuff thrown on the floor. There's stuff like if you were to wander farther down into it, like where there's maybe a bedroom, it seems like things have been thrown about, tossed about. The only thing that is neatly preserved in a hilarious way is there is a wonderful vinyl collection off in the corner that's just not touched. There's weirdly enough no television in the room, but also for those of you who know La Sombra, maybe that makes sense from a technological reason. You want to use thinning of the shroud again, if I remember correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see that. Just gotta pull that info up. Where the shroud thins. Give me first off, give me a rouse check.
Success.
Your hunger does not go up. Now roll your wits plus oblivion. And it's a difficulty of 3. And then while Francesca's doing this, other 3, let me know what you were doing as you want to search about. If you want to do like an investigative roll, let me know. But I'm gonna, so 3 successes? 3 successes on the dot. You're in the middle of the room. Are you sitting like right on the floor? Or are you sitting in a chair? Just out of curiosity.
I move a chair to the center of the room.
Works for me. You sit in that chair in the middle of the room, and you just tune everyone the hell out as you just sit there. The 3 of you just see that she's no longer even paying attention to you. You're kind of left to your own accords to investigate the space as you so see fit. What you feel while you're doing this, Salem is a weird town. Salem, death has been common in history. The way this power kind of works is you're more able to see how thin the veil is between where you are in the living and where the shadow realm is with the ghosts and all the wraiths. Where you are currently, you're in a space that doesn't seem like there's an entryway of sorts for them to come in. It feels like a very, maybe there was a death that had happened here, but it's been so many years that this entryway, if a wraith was trying to get through or spirit, it's pretty much not able to. It's very much, this place is pretty much at calm and at peace. And there's nothing really odd or particular about it that makes it stand out. The other 3, what do you do while you're in the space?
I'd like to go to her bedroom.
Sure.
And sit on her bed and maybe put her pillow in my lap, and I'd like to try and provoke a premonition.
Sure. For this, give me a rouse check.
Ooh, 3.
Your hunger goes up by 1. And much like Esther did before, you hear that little sort of laugh in the background, like the back of your mind, that type of voice you try to keep quiet, but then also you feel a little bit more hungry. Now, roll your resolve plus your aspects. And just let me know what you get success-wise.
4 successes with 110.
Nice. Unlike dear Esther, who her visions aren't really that great, probably not the ones that you want more than anything. Roisin, you sit on that bed holding that pillow, and multiple things happen. Much like Esther, you do something you don't naturally do anymore. You blink. And then when you blink, you are in that room, and then you're not in that room anymore. you're actually in, of all places, your business establishment. And it's just, you're having a memory of Lydia coming to you, just maybe not in her best spirits, having a moment of just wanting to connect with someone, and you were the right person at that right time, whether you wanted that connection or not. For her, that felt like the connection she needed. But at the same time, that immediate vision snaps to a completely different thing, where you're back in the apartment, but you're not on the bed, and you're watching her sort of panicking back and forth in the apartment, like grabbing things. And you see that there's like a note has fallen out of her hands. Looks like maybe in passing through the kitchen. But what you see is she is not stopping. She grabs something from the bedroom and then bolts out the door immediately. And then you're snapped right back to sitting on that bed holding that pillow.
I'll stand up pretty quickly and go into the kitchen and see if I can find the note.
Sure. I'm going to say it's clear as day, even though there is a bit of a mess in the apartment. You look on the floor and there is this note on the floor that looks exactly like the one she dropped.
I will pick it up and give it a read.
It's kind of hard to make. It's horribly like chicken scratch writing, but you're able to read it out. I would say, with how familiar you two have been, maybe you've seen Lydia's handwriting. This is not her handwriting. You do see certain things that stand out that are surprising and maybe alarming. It's along the lines of, I know what you did. I know what you are. You see in capital letters the word blank body. And then you see below that, like, your existence will not be tolerated. But it's all kind of weirdly, like, it's not written that well. It's kind of hard to read, but those are the words you parse out. Eden and Esther, what do you do in the room? Or the space?
Honestly, I'm looking through the vinyls. Like, I'm not much help here, so.
Actually, of all things, like, going through that vinyl, Lydia has a darn good taste in music. Like, you see stuff that is more recent, but also she has an extensive collection of, like, 70s style UK punk that is first edition, like the type of stuff where you pull it out and you're like, this is actually a first edition as it's labeled in the 1970s. You're just like, oh, this person's got some pockets worth of just purchasing it and be like, yeah, I want that. But also you look at the TV and you realize the TV's not even plugged in.
Yeah.
Record players, though.
I'm just looking through and I'm like, ooh, okay, I was not expecting this. She seems like kind of a hard ass, but you know, not too bad. Not too bad.
You also notice next to where the vinyl is, there's artwork on the wall, and it's very much like tattoo style art. And there's even like on one of the bookshelves, there's like a very old looking tattoo gun that looks like it's maybe from like the 30s, almost 40s. It's like a display piece. Esther, what do you do?
Oh, Esther is like meandering around because it seems like everybody else, like, she's very uncomfortable around other people and trying to find her place when it comes to being around other people. So she's assuming that everyone else like knows what they're doing. While she's meandering around, is there like a petty change dish or something lying around? Like, is there just like some just bits and bobbles hanging around?
Give me a wits plus awareness roll.
All right.
And actually, you know what? Because I'm going to say, yeah, add 2 dice to that.
Oh, I love it.
Because it's one of your advantages.
It is. We got 5 successes.
Wow, robbing Lydia.
Yeah.
You actually don't even find it changeable. You actually go into one of the bookcases and notice something feels weird because something seems to be hidden behind one of them, and you actually find like a lock. You find a full-on lockbox.
Okay.
But the thing is, it's not really locked. It's more like those ones where it's like you just put a latch down. You open that or something?
Oh yeah, she opens it. What's up? What's in there? She's a petty thief.
There's not that much. Just like maybe $100. Like,
She pockets it.
Do you try to stealth that from the others?
No, she's just doing it. Like, she...
All of you who are in the room that see Esther, you just see that she's found this literal lockbox that's been open, and she just takes the money out of it.
You know, I'm not even questioning it.
Just look at her and say, nice.
I'm not here to use it at the moment.
Roisin, because you're in her bedroom still, can you give me a intelligence, or actually a wits plus investigation roll? It might not be a lot, but I just want to see what you get. This is also open to anyone else who goes into Lydia's bedroom. You can do a wits plus investigation roll if you like.
2 successes.
2. You notice you're on the bed. You're still holding that pillow. Maybe you're having a lingering thought of what you just saw kind of hitting you. Because whether you two were close or not, it's kind of it's someone being in your life where you're like, they kind of had an impact, but also you're not really sure what that relationship is. You're lingering on that thought, but you look to the nightstand next to the bed and notice there's kind of like a journal almost, and it's open.
I will pick it up and take a peek.
It looks like she's been keeping a personal log of things, and I'm going to say you go through it for like maybe a couple minutes, like a few minutes. You're breezing through it. You see brief talks about like apparently living in Chicago, which makes you wonder, is she always lived in Boston or is she originally from the Midwest? Who knows? The main thing though that catches your eye is the actual page that you opened up to or saw it opened up at. It's talking about a hotel apparently that's nearby called the Hawthorne Hotel. And on it, she's talking about some room named room 612. And all it has around it is like room 612 circled in very thick ink. And then below it, it just says along the lines of a source of great power, ? And Samuel just has been in the room watching all of you kind of go over the room more or less. And is just like, if you see anything, I mean, I trust the 4 of you more than I trust myself with this type of thing. I kind of prefer to just keep my head in my books.
Is that so?
I mean, a warlock has, studying is our thing.
But not getting your hands dirty in an investigation. I thought that would be something up your alley.
That's more what Trella likes doing.
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
She's a clever one.
Has anyone found anything worth noting?
I'll come in with the note, and I'll leave the journal where it was in case I'm in it. So I don't want people looking in it.
It's noted.
I found this. I don't know if you guys recognize the writing or the style or lack thereof, but I'll just pass it to Francesca to look at.
All right, I'm gonna take a look at it. Do I recognize anything?
It's the note as I specified, where it's the one that says, literally, your existence will not be tolerated. And it has a word that maybe I feel like the Giovanni has heard and has taken great strides to make sure, despite the fact that they are sort of a known family, not known too much. When you see the word blank body, you know that is a kind of red flare going off as bad, very bad.
I crumble the note real fast and throw it. I don't think this is something we should be investigating unless we want to get ourselves killed. No,
Samuel just looks at you.
Well, isn't that what we're here for?
I'm here to get a boon off of somebody, but my life is certainly not worth putting at risk for a person like this that I don't even know. This note, do you recognize any of these words on here? No? Roisin? No, okay. Samuel, if I turn to you and use the term blank body, how would you feel?
Samuel, this man who you only have known for a few minutes, who has been very calm and composed, the minute you say blank body, he bares his fangs and hisses at you. It's like, sorry, that's not a term I want to ever hear.
And yet it was written in this note. So if all of us want to get killed, we should probably back out of this situation pretty quickly.
Did you find anything else except that note? I mean, I'm not trying to dismiss the note. That is alarming, but is there anything else?
I read also about the Hawthorne Hotel room, and there's a room number or something about a source of great power, possibly.
Do you know the room number? And he's now looking at you very inquisitively.
I do.
Well, what's the number? There's a lot of rooms in there. I can, if you tell me which room, I can hone in on maybe what's going on.
612.
His eyes kind of flare open, and he steps back a second and leans up against the wall. I take it none of you have been to Salem before? Do you know the history of the hotel?
I know enough.
I'm actually going to say, for your sake, give me in intelligence plus. Actually, wait a minute. Sure, it's still that. Giovanni. Give me, do intelligence plus occult. It should be, and I would say add a die to that, because, make that a big roll.
That's like almost all my dice.
Yeah, give it, do it.
Did you hear that?
That sounds the best sound ever.
That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, geez. That is a massive amount of successes.
You know, my dice like me sometimes.
You, in your former living life, used to do tours in Salem. And one of those little fun facts you have always thrown out when you were doing tours, outside of the ones that were related to your family, you know the Hawthorne Hotel. It is an infamous building in Salem, specifically because as across the country, it is known as one of the most haunted hotels in the country. It is, for some reason, an epicenter of strange and unusual things that happen. The two rooms that are always referenced are rooms 325 and room 612. 325, the way it's been described, is sometimes people will stay in that room and find furniture has been rearranged while they've been in there, and also not been in there. Lights turning on and off, faucets turning on and off. 612, though, is unique. Not because of the same things that happened in 325, those do happen in 612 as well. 612 is unique because of the fact that people swear that at nighttime they see walking the halls a white spectral figure, both in the room and not in the room. And the rumors of the town are it is the first witch who was executed at the Salem witch trials, Bridget Bishop, wanders the halls, as that apparently was her ancestral family's actual space before the hotel was built there many centuries later. Yeah, the hotel is haunted. I was actually, a while ago, I was doing research on 612. It seems to be people claim they see ghosts in there. I personally I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, it probably
But I do
is.
know, I mean, I won't question that coming from a Giovanni. I do know, though, that room is weird. There was actually an incident a week ago with someone that stayed there, and they've actually, the hallway is cordoned off. Yeah.
Sounds like an adventure.
If you can get up there, yes.
Is it
that I know of.
Is it difficult to get up there?
It is currently, last I heard about a week ago, they had police telling people not to stay in that hallway due to an incident that happened related to 612.
And now suddenly we have a letter talking about this hotel room. And you're just like, you might get up there. I'm thinking that's probably where we're supposed to go, right?
I mean, if you want to check it out, just do it with the most caution possible. When I say there was an incident, I mean someone died a week ago. They never found the body. They just found a completely severed left hand outside the door.
Tell me more.
That's sadly all I know. They even had, someone took video of it, apparently, the person that was missing, but that video is now gone. But yeah, all I know is, because Dinah, it's her domain, had the video. Someone literally shaky cam walking down a hall, and they opened the door and there was nothing but black void greeting them. And then the next thing, you just hear a scream that goes all the way down the hallway with the camera or phone falling. And then, yeah.
So let me reassess what you just told us. There is a murder, a death of some sort with only a hand to claim. That Dinah has a video of said room with a dark void. And we are supposed to think that Dinah knows nothing about about Lydia's disappearance. Am I correct?
Here's the thing about when you're the Baron of the domain, she loves keeping things close to the chest and not revealing everything.
Do you see where I have a problem with this, though?
Oh, I 100% see it, but also I don't know what to say in the regards. I would say check it out, but also have an air of caution about you.
Didn't someone mention shadow earlier?
Yeah, the Sombra. They're called the Shadow Dancer. See?
Right.
I remember things. And she was stuck in a mirror in my mind space.
Hotel rooms have mirrors.
Maybe it's a source of great power. Maybe this mirror is a magic mirror. Maybe I don't know. I still think she's stuck in a mirror.
Samuel looks at you very intently, Eden. It's like, do you not know what a La Sombra is? Like, how fresh are you? And he says that in a sort of joking way, but is also like,
8 months.
Oh, you're
a daisy.
Oh my god. Of course you don't know what La Sombra. There's only literally one in the state, most likely. They can literally manipulate shadows.
So can we?
Oh, you can too, but they're more known for that. No offense.
Everybody always forgets about us.
Well, you're so you're so independent. Also, I don't like messing with your family. I've had weird things happen in the past.
Good.
So this big, void, that's maybe a shadow? Are we not connecting those dots?
I already have.
Okay, good.
I can see. Okay, so let me explain to you what this big shadow is. It is what we affectionately call it, like the oblivion, the void. It is not just a shadow, but it's this sinking feeling that you feel in total, absolute darkness when it envelopes you and you can't hear or see or touch absolutely nothing. You understand what I'm talking about? Not just your shadow, but a thick, inky tentacle feeling around you.
Weird, but okay. That's real?
Yes. We should take a trip, though. I think it would be very fun to go see what this dead body looks like.
That's dead body trip.
Samuel hears you say that. It's like, well, I mean, if there's still a hand around, it's worth checking. I don't know if it's at the hotel. but you can check there.
I'll take a hand. That's fine.
He jokingly gives you reaches out with his hand. Here's a hand.
Oh, but yours is attached to your body. No.
Understood. If you're going to the hotel, you can't miss it. It's the biggest building past the Commons.
And you're not joining us?
Oh, I'm joining you. I'll take you there. And you also notice, pulls out of his pocket a foldable masquerade mask. It's like, there's actually a party going on in the ballroom tonight. So, yeah, I know. You can't stop the machine of this town.
One more detail. One more detail. You pull out a mask. I am assuming that's the same masquerade that our fair baron is at?
Yep. And he just puts his hands on his head like, she is a wonderful, organized mess.
For the record, my price has doubled.
Oh, that's understandable. I would even ask for triple. And he just walks down the stairs.
Do you guys understand why this is obnoxious? She clearly knows that there's something here and wants to put our lives at stake.
They always do. They don't give two shits.
It's like we're cannon fodder.
I mean,
Esther, I'm going to say, if you probably for a second, you say that, but you also walk to the bedroom just for a second, and you do see a mirror. It does not look like the one in your premonition, but it's enough that it gives you this moment of a shiver on the back of your spine.
As I'm walking, I imagine I'm walking casually past it and I see it in my peripheral. I quite literally like a cat, just I just not that mirror, but it's close. Not that one. I don't like it though. I don't like it. And I'm just shut the door to the room really aggressively, and I just make my way to everybody else again.
You okay?
Saw a mirror. Didn't like it. Wasn't the mirror that I saw, but didn't like it. So shut the door. I'm okay. I'm fine. Just didn't like it.
Okay. Noted. How far is this hotel?
Samuel's not too far down the steps. It says it's literally not even it's just a short walk.
I did not wear the right walking shoes.
As we're going, I want to hang back a bit, just I don't know the order that we're going, but I just want to stand somewhat behind Francesca and talk so she can hear me, but not Samuel.
Noted.
This is seeming suspiciously intentional.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Do you have any better idea about what Dinah's operations are like?
I know she sees a lot more than she lets on, but I think we all kind of get that at this point. But I'm wondering if my suspicion is, are we all just a bunch of thorns in her side she seeks to eradicate in one fell swoop under the guise of an investigation?
It is possible. These anarch barons are known to throw people to the wolves when it suits their fancy. So I think what is smart of us to do is to maybe understand why she's chosen us for, as she has heard a lot about us through Lydia. I don't understand why us four in particular, but because it seems she is in the area that we're going to be in and didn't tell us a thing. So I have a feeling she's waiting for us to finally come to the conclusion that she did.
I agree. I wonder if the getting rid of Lydia, possibly for whatever reason, or getting rid of us, the connection just makes it all too convenient when there are plenty of people who are investigators who don't need a personal connection to find someone.
Agreed. There's also something else that we are contending with, which I fear may be putting us on a bit of a time slant here. That note is in reference to a possible second Inquisition officer. There's the only type of people who use that word blink body. So it is possible that we could be set up here. It could be possible that Lydia is in cahoots with a second Inquisition officer. I think we need to have our wits about us more than we think.
I'm going to make a quick call. I'll be back here, and I want to fall back and take out my phone and use one of my contacts.
Who would you like to contact?
One of my regular customers who is in fact a second Inquisition officer.
Oh, interesting. That is very fascinating. Can you roll me 2 dice? Just 2 straight up black dice. I just want to know what happens on that.
What is
Let me know if
this?
there's a 6. Just let me know if
Let
there's
you know if there's a 6?
Or a success.
Oh, okay. There's a 6 and a 10.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Do you have a particular name for the contact, or would you?
Let's just call him George.
That's a good name. Pull your phone out. You lean farther back. You let the others walk ahead. Phone doesn't ring for that long. It's sort of like a raspy voice, like, Roisin, yeah, what do I owe the pleasure?
George, you know you're my favorite, right?
You have a lot of favorites.
Well, as far as, those still with heartbeats, yours is my favorite. And I was wondering if I could just beg a favor of you, just one teensy tiny favor.
This is in our agreement where I get a taste in return, then yes.
Oh, absolutely. You know me. I am a lady of my word. I'm just, looking for a small bit of information. If you know anything about raids, undercover ops, anything going on near the Hawthorne Hotel in Salem?
No, that's the first I'm hearing of something.
Okay.
I know apparently there was someone who's not part of this area that came in from Chicago, and they were asking for some lady, like black hair, biker jacket, guess tattoos. But yeah, there's been no raid. I shouldn't even be telling you that, considering things, but no. I like you enough that I'll say, no, nothing bad has happened in the city in a while. It's been quiet.
George, this is exactly why you're my favorite. You're just so forthcoming. And don't worry, this is our little secret. And once I'm back in Boston, come down and see me and I'll fulfill my part of the arrangement. Sound good?
Crystal. And the phone hangs up.
I will rejoin the group and again close to Francesca and just be like, as far as I can discern, there's no direct involvement by the Second Inquisition, but there was somebody from Chicago looking for Lydia.
Chicago? Did you get a name?
They didn't have one. I'm assuming the person had a name, but the person I was speaking with did not know that So
And do we assume that the person that was asking from Chicago is also SI?
no, they said there was nothing going on there. It was the first they'd heard of the hotel. So I would assume that it was probably maybe one of us.
Fascinating. I take out my phone. Are we in a big group of people? I'm assuming that there's a lot of people milling
So
about.
I'm going to say the beauty of what time of night it is now is where the Commons is, there are little to no people walking around. All the crowd is centered on downtown Essex. So you are completely devoid of people around you.
Okay.
It's just the 5 of you walking around with that person being Samuel. He's much farther ahead than the rest.
Okay. I'm definitely going to pull out my phone and I am going to call my sire, who also happens to be my brother, Frank.
I knew it.
If that, I'm not going to have you roll on this one. I'm going to wait and see what happens first. Phone doesn't even ring longer than one ring. It's like, yeah, Francesca, what's up?
Hey, Frank! There's some random person walking around here from Chicago asking questions. Have we heard of anybody coming in and out of this place?
Well, first off, I still don't get why you're in Boston. I mean, New York is such a better city. You know that.
I know, but I gotta make a name for myself, and you know that.
You know what? I don't understand that fully, but fine. Can you give me, because I want to see how persuasive you are through the phone on this, can you give me persuasion plus, I'm going to just say composure, composure. Because even though you're having very much being boisterous on it, I just want to know. I feel like that makes more sense than charisma to me.
No problem.
Why not? Little chaos.
That's a 2 success.
He's like, okay, sis, we haven't really heard a lot. We're trying, New York's a bit of a mess right now. Trying to please both the anarchs. There's also the wonderful Prince Helene Panhard, who is a literal pain in the fucking ass. Mm. In terms of any hunter-related things, I got nothing down here, and I haven't heard anything up there.
Is there any way that you can possibly talk to our family, our cousins in Chicago?
If you give me a couple minutes, I'll see what I can do for you.
You have all the minutes you need, but not gonna lie, I'm on a bit of a ticking time bomb here. Seems that our Anarch Baron of Salem seems to want to put my life in. Francesca takes a beat to look around. My so-called coterie mates at risk.
Give me 5 minutes, and then the phone just clicks.
And Francesca's voice just returns back to normal. So, the family's involved now. So, 5 minutes, and we'll see if we can get a better read on the situation.
As you walk through the Commons, you eventually... Samuel more or less points the building out. It's impossible not to notice it. It's literally the tallest building in the area. The Hawthorne Hotel. It was established in 1925. The Hawthorne is well known because the name actually comes from the writer, Nathaniel Hawthorne, who was, if I remember this correctly, was born in the area. I look forward to someone telling me I'm wrong on that, but I totally believe I'm right. The hotel has garnered quite a reputation over the decades. Its main motif, though, as I mentioned, is that it's haunted. It is consistently labeled as one of the most haunted hotels in the country. If you were to look that up, it is one of the top 5, top 10 in the entire country. As you enter the lobby, its 1920s design shines through. It's not full-on Art Deco, but it's literally architecture preserved from the early 20s. You also notice there's quite a few people walking around, and when you get in the lobby, your eyes follow a few of them, and you realize in a ballroom off in the corner, there is a full-on masquerade ball going on. And as you do look in there, you take a second to look, and you pinpoint them immediately because they are, once again, the loudest person in the space. wearing a masquerade mask with that black jacket on and that red dress is Dinah in the middle of the room, surrounded by people, being the most charismatic, wonderful person apparently to talk to. You can't tell though if that's natural or maybe something's been activated, but who knows? Right now, she is clearly the center of attention in that room. As you look at the lobby afterwards and just take in where you need to go if you're to go upstairs, noticing an elevator off to the opposite side of the wall.
Do we know if they're kindred or are they just regular people?
I would say, I'm trying to figure that out. Give me wits plus occult. I'm gonna have you roll for that.
I was like,
strange,
would it help if I had heightened senses up and I was listening for a heartbeat?
I actually will allow that. Yeah, if you want to add that, you can add dice to that as well. And and I would even say for one of you has something interesting that might work. Yeah, I would actually say, Esther, if you want to roll Scry the Soul for me,
Okay.
you might find out some interesting things.
I can do that.
Which is, if I remember correctly,
What is it?
It is, well, if you do, it's a rouse check, so keep that in mind. There is a risk reward on that.
I'll do it.
Do it. Let me know if you get a success or a failure.
I got a success on my rouse check.
And now roll your intelligence plus
Thank
your
God.
aspects.
Okay. Intelligence.
I got a critical success.
Oh, really? Yes. Four successes. Was any of them on your blood dice?
No, sir.
Just out of curiosity.
That'll bring the roll to 7.
Okay, then.
Magic
Esther,
number 7.
What did you get?
I have 5 successes.
So in different powers, different things happen. Francesca, what sense do you open up to? Like for heightened senses? Just visualizing like your eyesight?
Yeah, let's do that. We're in a club, so I don't want to raise sound.
Yeah. You actually stand in the doorway of the ballroom looking in. It has been converted into a literal like masquerade ball. What you notice is, yes, there are indeed kindred in there, and no, they are not doing any means necessary to hide the fact that they're kindred. And by that I mean there is no blush of life going on. You notice the pale skin immediately on a handful of them. All of them are talking to Dinah. And the same thing for Esther. When you do Scry the Soul, you kind of do it specifically towards Dinah.
Mm-hmm.
And you get this wonderful sort of outline that's just seems like it's radiating like a heat wave of sorts. I don't know the best way to describe it. It's more like just, you can tell the people who are around her are enjoying her company, but also maybe some people are being persuaded in a not normal way to also be around her because of some sort of alluring thing going on. You can also tell that they're... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I turned to like Eden next to me and just like point towards her and like nod towards Dinah and just be like, she's hot.
She really is.
She's radiant, like a radiant thing.
Yeah.
She's hot.
That kind of, yep. Okay.
You also notice when your gaze moves from Dinah for a second and Scry the Soul kind of fizzles out, but you look at one of the kindred that are apparently next to them, and they have black marks all across them, which is interesting. You've never seen that before, but they have like these black veiny marks going down their entire body. But when your senses kick back into their normal, this person looks perfectly fine.
Yeah,
They're dressed in an extremely goth way, but they look fine.
I imagine like in that small moment with Eden, she's like, yeah, she radiates, she's hot, and then she just kind of like. Anyways, and then just like continues to like walk and keep up with everyone else.
You okay?
I thought I saw something veiny, weird, but seems fine now. I'm okay.
Sure.
And she just like keeps trucking along.
Just that epitome of
Yeah, like this is fine, and
Yeah.
it's literally on fire. Like that's Esther in a nutshell.
All
You
right.
notice Francesca specifically when you look at the group of people. There's Dinah. You see Trilla, who you met before, is at her right side. To the left of her are three people. One is the person who is in a black suit. They have slicked back black hair. It is a woman. Another is the one that Esther saw. This person's wearing the most stereotypical black goth you've ever seen. It's almost like, goddamn, you're not even trying to hide anything. You're just out front, blank, like point blank, like, yeah, you are what you are. And then the other is more, they are better dressed than Dinah. They also have a red gown on, but theirs looks like designer labeled in a more professional way than Dinah's. And they're all just enjoying her company, having a moment of laughter. All with a glass in hand.
I'm going to try to sneak past and try to get to our entire coterie up to an elevator without Dinah seeing us.
You see the two elevators, and you don't even press the button. One of the doors just opens by itself.
I'm gonna.
And no one else. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say thank you.
Yeah. And no one even takes looks at it and thinks it's weird. Maybe the people here are just like, that just happens. But yeah, just hearts open for the four of you.
I am definitely gonna turn off heightened senses and turn back on sense the unseen.
Sense the unseen, free of charge. You don't see any spirit in the elevator. Not at the moment.
That's
I will
odd.
keep in mind. Yeah, I will keep in mind though it's activated.
That is very.
Do the other three get in there?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
One of you, I assume, presses number 6. So I'm going to
I'll
cut
do
it
it.
a little bit.
Oh, go
Press
ahead.
it.
We go at the same time.
Yeah, we press the button together. Teamwork.
Teamwork.
It's an older elevator, so you can feel the ricketiness of it going as it jumbles you for a second as it slowly goes up to the 6th floor. The ride is just, it's an elevator, nothing special. There's no elevator music, which maybe is a blessing.
Aw.
You get to the 6th floor, and the doors once again do that parting of just, and it is dead quiet down the hallway. You could hear a pin drop, and it would probably reverberate down the hallway.
So,
And you notice on the wall, it tells you which way to go for that room, and it's pointing towards the right side.
I just start walking towards it like I'm just going to a room, not scared or anything.
Can you all give me a composure plus etiquette roll?
Oh. Oh no, I'm not good at etiquette.
I got a bestial failure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
4? Okay. Give me a second on that, because that's always interesting. So Francesca got 4. Eden, what did you get?
I got 2 successes. One was a 10 on the blood die.
Awesome. And Roisin?
I got 2 failures, but 1 10 on my hunger die.
Okay. I gotta look up bestial failure again. It's been a while. Esther, so for those watching at home, bestial failure is pretty much you rolled a 1 on your hunger dice, and that is not great. Esther, you get out in the hallway. Francesca, you're fine. You've been in situations where this isn't spooky. Eden, you little on edge as it's a little too quiet for your tastes. Roisin, you more than anything, you're held together, but you're more just annoyed at this whole situation more than anything, because it feels like you're being played, and it's more or less pissing you off at this point. Esther, you are in the hallway, you blink again, and you're in another vision, and it's the same one you've had. The only thing, though, is you don't see a mirror this time. You're just in pitch black. And it's at this point where you, for some reason, try to breathe, and you can't breathe. It's as if the minute you open your mouth, the smoke is going in it, and it's got to that point where it feels like you're literally choking on it. And like that, you snap out of it, but you notice you're on the floor holding your throat, as if you literally just lived through that. And you also feel a little bit hungrier, so your hunger goes up by 1.
Oh, shit. Okay.
But this vision is not something you've had before, and it's now something that's biting at you in the back of your mind. And you feel very not safe at the moment about it.
Yeah, she basically, so I imagine like she kind of fell on the floor. She's writhing around. She kind of realizes that she's not in the vision anymore, and she's gasping for air and kind of like clutching her chest, and just like she puts her hood back up and just kind of like sits up, but hugs her knees to her chest very quickly and just kind of like rocks back and forth in the fetal position. Okay. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Nope. I didn't like that. And she'll like slowly but surely like compose herself within like the next minute or two and get up and kind of just like, okay. And she'll point to Francesca. Black, nothing, tendril, can't breathe. Whew, that was scary. Went there. Didn't like it. Mm-mm.
Oh, you
Nope.
inside Oblivion.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. It was just dark everywhere. And it was heavy, and it like, I opened my mouth and it like went in my mouth.
Yeah, it does that. I'm sorry you experienced that. It's not for the faint of heart.
Great time. Great time. I'm okay.
As you're talking, the lights above you flicker for a second. And when you look up, Francesca, you don't see anything when you look up. The minute you look down the hallway, you see almost something like a white figure, completely bathed in like white, just go from right to left down the other hallway. Like not the one that you had, like not left of the elevator, but like you're going down this hallway and it's like going in a different direction. It seems to be trying to point something out.
Mama Dearest is here.
Come again.
Miss Bishop, is it? Is here.
Oh, that was real? That's like a real thing?
Yes. Ghosts are wraiths are
well,
real.
yes, I know that they were real, but I didn't know if like the legend was like real. I thought it was a legend.
The lights flicker again.
I didn't know if she was actually here. I didn't know if it was actually her. I thought it was just a different ghost, and people were like, "Oh, it must be her."
Miss Bishop, we know you're here. We understand, and we don't think that you're fake.
No, I didn't think she was fake. Please don't hate me. I'm sorry.
The lights behind you have turned off, and it seems like it's trying to light a way forward.
Yeah, she's gonna not be happy if we don't continue, I'm thinking. And
she'll be fine.
Walk off down the hallway.
Yeah.
When you get down the hallway, you take another left, or you take a left onto the next one that leads to 612. And I'm going to say this time, since the unseen is not needed, all of you see this white, ghostly figure. It's almost as if they're like wisping away, like a wind is hitting them, and their parts of them are just dissipating behind them. And all you see is a single arm go up, pointing to a room. And as you get closer, they fade away.
No, but that's not fair. You can't just walk away from us.
When you say that, you feel a cold shiver go down your spine.
Yeah, like I haven't felt that before. Are you gonna actually come out and speak with us? If we do have questions for you, or are you gonna make me summon you?
If you still have sense the unseen up, I assume.
I do.
For your eyes only, not even like a foot or two away from your face, is that ghostly image. You don't see their face. Their face is kind of veiled under something. And they just stand there patiently waiting. As you see parts of them dissipate.
Do you know what I am? Good. Have you seen another like me go into that room? Was she a she? Does she have dark hair?
Doesn't even nod, it just points to the room.
Are we in danger if we go in that room?
It fades away before it can answer.
Shit.
You're like a walking Ouija board.
Excuse me? Me?
I mean it with affection.
Yes, sure. We'll talk about that one later. At any rate, guards up, if you will. Actually, Samuel
is actually not with you anymore. He's at the party. Just you four.
I was gonna use him first. All right, Eden.
I'll go in.
Yeah.
And I just, it's just a room.
You open the door?
Yeah.
You open the door. It's just a room. You open the
room.
door and you don't see inside. It is the deepest, darkest black you have ever seen in your life. There is nothing reflecting out of it. And I would say, Francesca, you look below at your feet and you see it almost smoking out here and there, wispy-like.
All right.
But at the same time, you also, like, when you're standing next to it, you also feel way more relaxed. Like, you know this feeling before. Like, you've had stuff that comes close to what this might be.
Yeah. I'm gonna step into the room, like, just completely, like, engulf in it.
The three of you watch as Francesca steps in, and they are completely gone. They're not visible.
Going in.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as you go in, the other two, before you go in, you notice the lights are going off one by one, as if whatever spectral being was in front of you is trying to tell you something.
Esther waits a painful moment and kind of has to like and like walks in after everybody else.
You're like Gimli with the road under the mountain.
Yes, 110%. This is my Gimli moment.
You're all in the room. You all actually can see one another as you're in this space, but it is nothing but a black void. It just keeps going and going. You think you're supposed to at some point hit the wall of the apartment, or like not the apartment, the hotel room. Apologies. And yet you just keep walking forward, and it's like it just continues at an infinity almost. It just keeps stretching on forever.
Cool.
And
I'd like to activate the binding fetter.
Yeah, sure. I gotta read up a little bit on that. Please give me, that's free. Roll your wits plus oblivion. Yes, I remember.
3 successes.
When you're in this space, it's almost like it actually reacts with you. And I'm going to say, to make it more interesting, this power usually allows you to supernaturally become attuned to things around you. because this feeling in this space feels so comforting to you, it amplifies it a bit, and you're not the only one that it activates for. The other three randomly also see what you see and what you feel. Three of you just feel all of a sudden more relaxed in the room, even though you were probably more unnerved in the space. But in the process of activating that, something weird happens. It's like the space starts to form and shape into a completely different area. And for Esther specifically, almost looks like you're watching a vision come to life. And you do see Lydia. You see her in a room that is not the apartment that you were just in. You see her in a completely different space. You even see a window looking outside. And I would say if you want to roll intelligence, like a straight just intelligence and composure roll for me, it'd be interesting. Yeah. If one of you wants to do that.
I got that. Straight intelligence.
Yeah, it's just intelligence and composure. It's called sometimes a memory roll.
So if you don't got it, I got it. I have a pretty high one.
I got it.
Cool.
That is 3 successes.
Maybe you've been to this city, maybe you're not. This vision's not in Boston or Salem. You look out the window and you see the familiar sight that is Chicago. You are clearly in a different apartment that used to belong to her, but what you're watching is a scene unfold that becomes pure chaos. As she's in the room, there is someone else in the room who is surprisingly wearing this leather jacket that you have seen Lydia wear, but it's on someone else. And you watch a scene happen where the door gets broken in and literal gunfire gets shot down. And you watch whoever this person next to her shout at her as she literally jumps out of a window. And the next thing you see is nothing but bright light as the room goes aflame. The only words you can hear from the person who told her to jump is, run as far as you can. And then the vision just, for all of you, goes back in on itself.
The only thing that people I could think of that use fire are those hunters.
And that's when you walk forward, and when you do, your foot hits something, and you look down, and there is a body on the floor of someone heavily armored, but they are clearly not moving.
I reach down to their hands.
To check for like a pulse?
No, I check to see if they have hands.
Or even hands. That's a better question. Thank you for that. That's a very good clarification.
Hand check.
They have one hand. You also notice when you're checking it, because you're not just checking the hand, I assume you probably check the body. You also notice there is a stake in that hand that you found, but this body is just completely limp.
I first kick it to see if it's alive first.
No reaction. This is as dead can be.
Good. I'm gonna start searching person. I'm trying to find things.
You actually find a handgun. Funny enough, what's labeled holy water, which that's hilarious. You also find a note that they had in their pocket, and it is Lydia's address. And that's when in the background you feel like you hear someone crying.
I'm going to keep my hands on the hunter, but I'm going to turn around to try to see what's making that sound.
Do all of you follow?
Yeah.
Again, that same memory vision kind of pops up behind you. Just what you saw, that room going ablaze, her jumping out a window. And as you go forward, you realize it's illuminating this space kind of weirdly. It's a weird sort of illumination where you kind of feel that warmth, but it's not real. So like maybe you flinch for a second seeing a literal fire because that is the worst thing possible for you to ever experience. But you see kind of crumpled down on the floor is someone just like full on crying, and it doesn't seem like they're in control of themselves. Like the situation playing in front of them is a memory they can't stop playing over and over again. And when you do get closer, they have black hair.
I'm gonna reach out. I assume I still have the creepy eyes going on, right?
Oh, you do. You actually you can see them clear as day. Black hair, leather jacket. They have tattoo that you can see visibly on their neck. It's like multiple pieces wrapped around it. They have a band shirt on. They have tears with red crimson tears streaking down their face, and their hands are just out, and you can hear them saying, "Please make it stop." As if they're trying to stop this vision and they have no way of controlling whatever is going on.
Can I reach out? Can I reach out to her and touch her?
Yeah.
Like, is that a thing? Is she there?
You can do that. Yeah, she is there. You put your hand out and you immediately touch a shoulder that feels solid.
Lydia?
She doesn't look up. It's just like she's completely in shock over whatever keeps replaying over and over again, as if it's a nightmare that she never wants to live through again.
Lydia!
Do you shake her?
Yes!
Yeah. She eventually looks up at you, and you literally just see a face stained in red because of tears just going down her eyes. And all she says when looking at you is like, "Just make it stop."
I put my hand on her head, and I'm going to try to use cloud memory.
Ooh. Ooh, that's a fun one. I always love that. It's free of charge, but can you roll charisma plus dominate? And I need to remember what I rolled with.
Not a big pool, but here we go.
Hey, anything is better than nothing.
That's cool. That is that considered a critical, or is that considered?
What did you get?
I got 2 successes, but they have the fangs on them.
Oh, is it on the hunger dice?
Yeah, actually, wait, I rolled that wrong. Hold on. Never mind, just regular 2 successes. Sorry, I rolled 2 blood dice by accident.
Oh, that would have been more interesting. In my area, that would have been more interesting. How many did you get? You said 2?
Just 2.
She immediately relaxes and just calms down. And the vision behind you, almost like a DVD where you press pause on a movie, just pauses mid-frame. And the scene paused is literally, you see her full on jumping out a window, which for Esther, who did look out the window, she jumped out of a 2nd floor story of the building. You see broken glass shooting out, and you just see the look of this person who's like screaming at her to jump. And by screaming, I mean, you see the fangs clear as day on this person's face as they have a literal bullet going right through their body. And then you see in the frozen frame at the door, one of the people is holding something in their hand that looks like it's literally about to erupt into flame. So whatever happened here, whatever this memory is, clearly whoever was in the room did not get out of that alive, except her. She just looks at you like, I don't know how to get out of here. Please get me out of here.
Okay.
Just, I don't.
Edith, you have to be stronger than I am.
Yeah.
Can you try to carry her out?
Yeah, I can try.
Can you give me, doing that, a strength? Literally, it's going to be strength plus strength.
Okay. So
just roll 2. Yeah, just roll like whatever your dot is in strength, and then roll another in the exact same thing. So you're rolling it twice, basically.
Okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure I was understanding that.
No, you're good. No problem. It's a weird roll.
A 6 and a success.
She's not heavy. She's kind of light, but it's still like you're carrying a person. So
yeah, it's kind of awkward.
How do you pick them up? What way do you pick them up?
I want to like baby carry. What's bridal carry?
That works. You do exactly that. You just lift her up, and you all just kind of try to remember where you kind of came out of. And again, you see that body on the floor that's clearly dead. And I would say, do you inspect the space at all just to make sure that you're not the only ones there?
100%.
Just give me a wits plus awareness straight roll. I would say for your discipline that's up, add a die on that for Francesca. Yeah. And just to see.
3.
3. Anyone else?
Distracted by trying to carry.
Sorry, I'll give it a try.
Yeah. I mean, again, you're carrying a literal person, which you are. Your strength is more than you realize, but still, you're carrying a person.
My strengths lie elsewhere.
Okay. 2, 3, 4. I got 4 successes, one of them on my hunger dice.
Nice. Both of you, Francesca and Roisin, you both look around pretty much in the same directions, just like scoping it out. Again, it is a void of pure black, minus that weird memory that clearly seems to be a memory Lydia's reliving over and over again. You're not sure how long she's been reliving that, but it seems like she's been there a while. You don't notice anyone else in the space outside of what's in that memory that just keeps flickering in and out now. And that's also when you're realizing, like, you do see a doorway way off in the distance that's white light illuminated.
Care to investigate?
Well, only if we think it's a way out.
I think it's a way in somewhere else.
God.
You don't have to go. I can go alone.
No, let's go.
As you all make your way, you get to that white light. You don't really see what's on the other side. So it's pretty much like just blindingly white. Like it's just the opposite of the black completely.
Mm-hmm. I'll open the door.
Open the door. Do you go through it?
Yeah. Screw it. I open it and go through it like welcome on home.
You're back in the hotel walkway for the hallway.
Well, that was
It's as if you never left the hallway at all.
Ta-da! As everyone maybe hopefully follows me through.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Cool.
For Eden, because you're carrying Lydia, I'm going to say you probably go through last. And when you do, you feel like a great weight has been lifted off your shoulders in a weird way. And that's when you probably look behind you and realize, and this is for all of you, you look behind you, that black void starts to just fizzle out and you just see a normal, boring hotel room on the other side. And all the lights are back on in the hallway. I would say, Francesca, you take a second to look down the hallway and you just see that spectral figure raise a hand and then is gone.
That was it?
You do also see in the hotel room, there is a body on the floor, missing a hand.
Oh, that was expected. Has it been 5 minutes that my brother would have called me?
You have a message on your phone that somehow, when you were in the space, your phone did not go off, but it feels like it was actually sent 20 minutes ago instead of 5 minutes ago, which now you look at your phone and you realize somehow in the span of 30 minutes, you have been gone, even though it only felt like 5.
Wow.
And what you get is, because the Giovanni in New York are very resourceful, you don't just get the name, like, told, like, oh yeah, someone did come from Chicago actually recently. They were asking for someone named Lydia. You actually get a full-on picture of their face. And when you pull the phone up and see who the body is that's dead in there, it's their exact face.
Excellent. So we have a cleaning situation. I actually text back to my brother, clean up on Salem, on Isle Salem, to try to send a cleaner to fix this problem.
You just get annoyingly an emoji of thumbs up. You're like, but also you get a text saying, talk to the Baron too. Maybe they'll clean it up.
I plan to, but I have a price.
You just get a very big emoji smile back, like we all do.
Yeah. Great.
Lydia, by the way, is leaning up against the wall on the hallway. She's not looking at any of you. She looks like she's kind of just still out of it or deeply ashamed of everything.
So are we gonna take her back to Dinah, or are we gonna kind of sneak out the back way?
Who's good at negotiation around here? You are.
Yeah, weirdly.
Well, we are going to hold on to Lydia here. I think Lydia probably needs a bite to eat. Would you say that, Roisin?
Yeah, she is looking a bit peaky.
Is it possible for you to take her back to your club and see that she is attended to?
All the way. I suppose.
Or at least get her a car to get back to your club. Get back to your club. Yeah, that'd be great. We have some negotiations to do.
Lydia, hearing all this, honestly, just bring me to Dinah's Haven. I can grab a snack there.
Are you sure? Is she not the one that set all of this up?
Set all this up? What do you mean?
I don't know. It's just...
I found out, and she looks in the doorway, this fucking asshole was in Salem, and I found a note on my door saying, I can't let you live. I tried killing your sire, but you fucking didn't die, and I'm going to make sure you see final death. And I saw this asshole walking around Salem, and I freaked the fuck out. And I remembered, and she's looking in the room, this room is weird, and I'd heard stories that this room can take you to different places. And I didn't know where it was going to take me, so I just figured I'd lure that guy in there, and maybe something weird would happen, but I didn't expect to relive that memory over and over again. Him and his friends killed my fucking sire.
And you killed him?
She just again starts... Yeah, and she again, when she says that, she has tears going down her face. She's like, yeah, I... Fuck his goddamn hand. That's when you notice the hallway gets a little darker when she says that, and you can... Francesca more specifically, but the others, I feel like you see this too. You see kind of these shadowy tentacles or tendrils kind of come near her body as she's getting a little more fed up with it, but also just like you see, for the ones who've never seen a La Sombra, you see this shadowy stuff happening that it's just a little bit more unsettling than anything you've seen before.
All right, well then let's get you in a car at least back to Dinah's Haven. And we will have some words with Dinah, if you don't mind.
I would appreciate that. I know where she keeps the blood bags.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Do you have something of affection that Dinah would recognize that's on your persons? A watch, a ring, something she gave you?
She stands up. She has on an exquisite, like, sort of not like filthy, but it's this beautiful black leather jacket. It's got like maybe some patches here and there. She just takes the jacket off and hands it to you. It's like, she'll know this is me. No one else wears this.
Great, thank you.
And she just starts walking down the hallway, like hand up against the wall, trying to walk.
I like look at I look at the leather jacket, like,
Yeah.
and
It's like,
I hand it over to Eden. I think this might be more your style.
I'll hang on to that. And Eden's wearing like all pink pastel-y stuff. Like, yeah, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hold on, I take it back, give it to Esther.
And Esther, when you hold it, no vision triggers, and you actually feel more relaxed. Because the person you see walking down the hallway looks exactly like the person in your vision.
Yeah, I'll tentatively take it and like kind of like with the anticipation that something's gonna happen, and then when nothing happens, I'm like, all right, like put it over my shoulder, and
I lean over to Eden and be like, I need to get you a pink leather one later on.
That would be so cool. That would be, yes.
I'll have my cousins deliver it to you.
That sounds threatening, but thank you.
For Roisin, Lydia waits a second and kind of wants, like, she lets Francesca go by, she lets Esther go by, she lets Eden go by. She waits for you to linger for a second or catch up. Thank you for, I don't know if you were trying to find me or if this was something else, but she just looks at you and says, thank you. And what she does is she leans in, gives the most polite kiss on the cheek possible, and then just continues to walk forward.
I am so confused in my heart, my cold, dead heart.
And as you all go on the elevator, you get back down to the lobby. You probably try to sneak Lydia out the door, I would assume. Is that an assumption made correct? Just want to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You see in the party, you don't even see that she's there. So if she's there, who knows? But you walk out the Hawthorne with Lydia slowly limping forward, trying to get to Dinah's Haven. And on that note, we are going to end our session there.
It was wonderful.
Well done.
we saved the damsel. We did the thing.
You did the thing. As my dice fall over the floor.
Oh no!
Perfect timing. Again, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I'm going to once again turn it over to my players to tell us who you are, what you're doing, where they can find you, what you might have coming up next, starting with Ray.
Oh, hey, I'm Ray, or with the brick with 2 Ks, everywhere on the interwebs. Follow me to see what I'm up to, which is not a whole lot right now. I'm kind of in between things, but I'm also working on things that are coming out soon, so stay updated. I had a blasty blast. This was fun. I like vampires. This is cool. It's always really fun when I play a new system because I get really like, now I'm just going to be obsessive over this for like the next couple months, and I'm really excited about it. Woo!
Yep.
Thanks
To which
for
the GM says, "You're welcome."
Thanks for having me play. Thanks everybody for letting me play with you. Thanks Danny for having me on the channel again. Thanks everybody from watching at home. You're all so great. This is great. Thanks guys.
Next up, Carly.
Hello, I am Carly. I am at Carlybug, CRLYBUG on everything, pretty much. You can find me here on the Initiative Order. It was every other Wednesday on Nicest Contention, but we have our finale coming up this coming Wednesday for the season. Pond is going on maternity leave, so we are having a little hiatus, but I do have something else coming up that I don't know if I can, I don't know. Keep an eye on Twitter though, because I'll post about it there. So yeah.
Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel Beauregard. I am an actor, gamer, creator. You can find me on Instagram, Manic Pixie Tank Girl. You can find my designs at Bad Duck Design. You can find me on the Initiative Order intermittently, sometimes on Far Realms. you will find me here tomorrow night for the Mythical Melee Kaiju Clash. Well, I will be playing Godzilla. It will be a good time. Please come out. Please make some donations. We've got some really great prizes with money going to support the Ukraine. And yeah, I had a really excellent time. I love Roisin. She's just like so fun. She's all drama. And yeah, it was great to play with you. People meeting pretty much everyone, yeah, for the first time except for Nate. But yeah, hope we can play again.
And Cynthia.
Hey y'all, I am Cynthia Marie. I am a TTRPG streamer, performer in LA, engineer by day. You guys may know me from a little show called LA by Night, where I played a toreador by the name of Nellie G that you can find on YouTube and Twitch on the official World of Darkness channel. I've played a whole other slew of characters all over various channels, including this very channel here. I have a fefew shows coming up. We do play the Aliens RPG, which will be coming back soon, I hope, very soon. I also play a couple of Dungeons and Dragons games. I'm going to actually be playing on Jaspers game coming up in May. So if you want, come join us. I think you can even like buy a chair for charity for Jaspers game, where you can actually come play with myself, Alicia Marie, who also plays on here, and Bree Utami Cosplay. I think she was in chat as well. So all three of us will be playing together. And if you want, you could buy a chair and come play with us. That would be like a lot of fun and really awesome. Otherwise, I play a ton of vampires all over the place, so go check them out. I'm also in the Nightlife on Renegade Games, so that's also fun. And if you check out my social media at Cindancer, that's at Twitter and Instagram, Cynthia__Marie, that's 2 underscores. You get to see some of the stuff that I get to work on, including the fun makeup that I do, and also some really great products that people have graciously sent to me so that I can do videos of. And not gonna lie, the thing that I just got, I flipped my lid over. I was so excited. So I'm going to share that actually on the 27th coming up. So if you want to go look at my social media, specifically Instagram, you will get to see some really awesome products that you can actually get. So yeah, I'm excited. But thank you, all of you. You're all so wonderful. I loved living vicariously through your first game. That was so much fun. Nate, you're an incredible storyteller. Thank you for such an incredible story. And of course, the Initiative Order, you guys are incredible.
And hi, my name is Nate Bushman. I'm just simply Nate Bushman. No, I'm kidding. I was the storyteller for this game. I am a portrait and fashion photographer based out of Los Angeles. I just like running games for my friends, and being able to have an opportunity like this was a blast. All 4 of you were absolutely phenomenal, and it is a pleasure to have played with you, and I look forward to hopefully playing with you again in the future. If you want to follow me on social, Nate_B on Twitter, and then on Instagram, it's IndieNate, INDIE Nate. And yeah, I would say, until next time, the Kindred of the Night, what wonderful music they make. Have a great evening, everyone.
Bye.